Hey everyone, welcome to another LEGO fan video. Fortunately, no Legos right now. Because in order to get my warped piece that I knew was warped and never realized until, well, I disassembled the entire thing. And then I dropped it. And now I have to reassemble the entire thing. Luckily, a majority of it is still put together. Until then, we have some Ben 10 to cover. And let me tell you, one of my favorite villains is in this set of villains that I'm gonna be covering. No more creatures, no nothing. I'm just gonna get right into it. So right now, I'm gonna cover all of season 3. This is part 1 of the villains. Then we're gonna go into part 2. There's aliens, minor characters, but all of them have over 15. So it's gonna be a lot of parts. So let's start off with these guys. 10 seconds. Good luck. So these are the robot sumos who don't have a first line. They're robot video game characters who first appeared in Game Over, serving as minor antagonists through the first and second level of the game, and still in the game at the end. They never were defeated. They're sort of like your typical minions that you see whenever you play a video game. There's always that one recurring like clone or whatever. Those are these people. So they transport by ship. They are very durable. They can roll up into balls. They have a very powerful charge. They have different versions of them. They are very strong. They have an enhanced boss, this guy right here, who essentially has the same exact powers, only they're a little bit more powerful. And then you got these versions of them, which is a flying version that can shoot fireballs and lasers. However, they can be beaten with relative ease. They aren't very intelligent considering the fact that they just walked right into a hole. And they are somewhat slow, again, mostly relying on numbers. Next are these ones. And again, we're not going to get into first lines until later. So 10 seconds, good luck. So these are mutated bulls, mutated cattle, whatever you want to call them. Clearly that's also their species. They first appeared in Under Wraps, in which they battled Accelerate before being knocked out by Ben in the end, and then wrapped up by Accelerate. And then after the episode is indicated that they probably return to normal, though we do not know for sure, because the corrodium effects wear off. So they are very strong, have a very powerful charge, very fast, and are very durable. However, they turn very slowly, they can tire after a little bit, and effects wear off over time. Meaning that they won't maintain being mutated forever. Then you got this one. 10 seconds, good luck. So this is a mutated security guard or mutated human, whatever you want to call it. So these guys are mutated humans. This person is a mutated human who first appeared in Under Wraps, battling Max and Gwen before being packaged up by a machine, and was dragged back to his post before reverting back to normal, albeit shirtless. And then he later appeared in his human form again in the episode The Return, in which he was sleeping on the job and let the yellow juicy in. And then the yellow juicy unburied the mummy and he was conveniently knocked out. So this is probably one of the most powerful one appearance characters, villains of all time. So you can clearly see that he has knives as hands here, and they are very sharp and deadly. You can also see that it's his feet as well. He has incredible speed, like almost ninja-like, maybe even a little bit faster than that, and is very agile. He is extremely hard to take down. However, again, effects wear off, and he can be caught off guard at times if you manage to get him off guard. So the next villain up, let me just say something real fast. I'm a huge fan of this villain.
In downtown Chicago to top 90.
So that was a different person. We're gonna get to him another time. But for now, let's cover. I just gave it away. So this is the sounding and anomaly metagraphy, better known as Sam, whose first line is this.
And with no rain in sight, it's enough to make my cranium rotate.
So Sam is a robot who first appeared in the episode Monster Weather, and only appears there, in which he started as a gimmick for a news station built by none other than Vance Vetteroy. However, after Vance Vetteroy launched it up into the stratosphere, he got struck by some sort of purple lightning and changed into a malevolent creature who was bent on destruction, and turned into this one right here, a water creature, wreaking havoc in the Rock in Chicago concert. After he was beat by having his creature turn to steam, he was almost destroyed by Vance, but Sam manipulated him to launch him up in the stratosphere again, turning into the Cloud Monster. But he was once again beat by Ben after losing control of his cloud shape. After that, Sam was launched into a sodium truck, and Sam had enough at that point. At that point, Sam transformed into this conglomeration of a creature to try and take out Ben once and for all, probably being one of the first villains to target Ben specifically, not the Omnitrix. But he was once again taken out by Ben after playing a sound on the opposite end of the frequency, effectively destroying Sam once and for all. So he's able to launch and rotate his head. He can control the weather and form monsters from it. He is very smart and manipulative. He can form a shield, hence this little purple eye that you keep seeing. That's him forming his shield. He knows about weather. He can form lightning. His water creature is very strong and is able to suck things up with his tentacles. His cloud monster can fly, can shoot lightning, can form and reform his shape, and is transparent. And this conglomeration monster can form twisters. He can absorb people like the water creature. It has lightning and has very durable skin because it's like a sodium concrete mixture. His weaknesses, however, is that unlike a lot of other villains, he cannot move on his own. He needs help moving. So it leaves him very vulnerable whenever he's out of his form. He can be short-circuited by sodium. It can be destroyed by playing a sound on the opposite end of the frequency. The water creature can be turned to steam via heat. And the cloud creature can be destroyed via wind, which can make it lose control of its shape. As you can tell, I really admire this villain. In fact, Monster Weather is probably one of my favorite episodes of the original series because of this villain, which, in case you couldn't tell, is inspired by the most famous AI villain of all time, that being HAL 9000. So this is our next villain up. So let's hear her first line, and I'll give you 10 seconds to guess.
I love being a witch.
10 seconds, good luck. So this is the villain known as Charmcaster. She's a human/witch, whatever you want to call her, who first appeared in the episode Change of Face, in which she planned to brew up a spell to switch bodies with Ben so she can obtain the Omnitrix, more specifically Heat Blast, and failed, and switched bodies with Gwen instead, which is the whole gimmick of the episode. So after running around as Gwen for a while, buying up all the ingredients that she needs in order to brew up another spell under the gimmick that it's a dinner. Considering the fact that it's Grandpa Max that's agreeing to this, I can see why it was accepted. And on the Salem ship, she planned to once again brew up the spell and switch bodies with Ben, and failed again, which unfortunately led to her downfall by being tied up by an anchor and her bag being tossed in the sea. She was then later arrested and was shown about to be beat up by Pinky, which is another character that we'll get to later on. So she is very agile, can levitate, and is a great trickster, tricking both Hex and Gwen in the episode Tough Luck. She is very smart. She can brew up potions for like body swapping spells or some other spells. I'm pretty sure they just used that brew just for the gimmick of Salem. She is somewhat strong. She can activate vehicles with no need for keys. That's probably one of the spells. She had a book of spells. Now it's owned by Gwen. Again, we'll get to that later. And a lot of these new powers that I'm going to get to is Gwen using Charmcaster's body to conjure these spells, which I count as Charmcaster's powers. That may have sounded very confusing, but I'm sorry for that. So she can make utensils come to life. She has a bag of tricks that has smoke bombs as well as actual bombs and magic bombs. She has metal rings that can increase in size. These stone golems, which are very strong and durable. Also a bat version that can fly, as well as a chicken version which can peck you to HE double AccuStick, as well as fly. And she carries any magic that she needs. She usually has in her little satch. That's her whole gimmick. And it also has some sentience, as it was able to follow Gwen as Charmcaster out of the prison, and due to the fact that she is a magic user, she is able to break out of other people's spells. But she looks down on Uncle Hex, obeying his every move. Yeah, wait till I meet verse. She is not declared a master wizard. She can be easily distracted and single-minded at times. Now we're going to get on to some future. Oh wait, no, not yet. So, this is the next villain, not future villains yet, but we're going to get to them. So, here's his first line.
Our entire operation is a failure.
By the crest of the Forever Knights, the Tennyson shall
Pay with their very lives.
So, 10 seconds, good luck. And no, I did not reveal his name. So this is the villain known as Enoch. I probably also should have known if Forever Knights also appeared in this episode, but I didn't. Oh well. They pretty much have the same powers. So he's a human, supposedly, who first appeared in the Unnaturals, in which he showed up at the very end, crushing Coach Finn's head. Again, we'll get to him, before exclaiming this quote. So he has control of the Forever Knights, has a lot of money, has knowledge on aliens, alien tech, and regular tech as well. So he's very versatile. He seems to be, and he is also extremely durable, in case you couldn't tell by this incredible armor that he has on. He's also very intelligent, has a grapple gun, a laser sword, can run somewhat fast, considering the fact that he's in armor. He owns a car and a helicopter. Well, the car is technically a limo, but let's call it a car. As well as a helicopter called the Bird. He knows ancient legends. He has a shield that can double as a boomerang and as a wraparound rope. Which like some other YouTubers say, it seems like everyone has one of those at some point. However, he can be easily distracted and can be... he can be dead set on objectives that can often place him in perilous situations. So let's get into probably a fan favorite villain, but probably also one of the scarier villains of the Ben 10 franchise. Here is the next villain. Yeah, pretty picture, right? And that was his first line. 10 seconds, good luck. So help me if you don't know this. Don't call yourself a Ben 10 fan if you don't know the classic villain known as Ghostfreak, also known by the name Scare. He is an ecto-neurite who first appeared in the episode The Return, in which he appeared at the end of the episode, being resurrected by the combined efforts of Victor, the Yellow Douche, and the Mummy. We'll get to everyone later, exclaiming this quote. In Be Afraid of the Dark, he chased Grey Matter around the place where he regenerated before being chased away by Ben using his stun gun. While as Grey Matter, Ben figured out his ultimate goal was to cover the entire planet in corrodium so that way he doesn't have to worry about the sun and he's able to conquer Earth. And he then, after being chased away by the stun gun, he appeared later on the spaceship, realigning the satellite, and succeeded in his goal. But unfortunately, Victor knocked the satellite loose, and afterwards, Ghostfreak dragged Frankenstrike down into the darkness of space, making him extremely powerful now. And with the resulting battle of the Mummy, Victor, and Ghostfreak, Ben managed to get two of those, Victor and the Mummy, into an ill-equipped portal. However, he lost sight of Ghostfreak. Ghostfreak then didn't appear till the spaceship home, in which he tried to obtain the Omnitrix in a last-ditch effort. However, he failed and was burned up by the sun afterwards. So he has all of Ghostfreak's powers of flight, levitation, invisibility, claws, and tentacles, and he's also able to manipulate Ben's mind and objects around him to torture him. However, this is only a one-off power. He's able to possess people and torture them with it, which heightens anyone else's ability. He is able to regenerate from even the tiniest molecules. He is a leader. He is able to survive in space and is stronger the darker the place is. So don't bump into him in a dark alley. He's able to make others invisible to drag them through walls. He is somewhat strong. Another one-off power is that he can shoot electricity via the middle of these tentacles here, and is somewhat fast. However, there are limits to his possessions, like some are able to resist it for a bit, and also the fact that your eyes will become purple and there's cracks whenever he possesses you. And he's not able to possess any of Ben's aliens. He also possesses any of Ghostfreak's weaknesses, like an orange goo that can make him visible again, and some slowness. His biggest weakness is that he can't go in sunlight unless he is in possession of someone, which honestly I never got the reason why he decided to take off that cloak to begin with. So he has a huge ego and can be often single-minded and obsessed with one thing that can lead to some desperate moves, often resulting in his death. Until the next time. So this is the next villain up, and here's his first line.
Hey, Tennyson, long time no see.
So 10 seconds, good luck. So this is the villain known as Exoskull. He is a cyborg human rhino hybrid, more prominent in Omniverse than the original series, making only, I think he only made like this one appearance. So he first appeared in the episode Ben 10,000, in which he fought Ben 10 and Ben 10,000 before being beat by Ben 10,000 and caught in his own laser net. It is unknown what happens to him, but he was more than likely taken prisoner. So his horn here is able to fire an extremely powerful laser or laser net. He's also very strong and very durable with his armor plated. However, he can often be very arrogant, and with enough force his horn can be ripped off, leaving him exposed. Well, as exposed as an armor plated person is. So this is the next villain, and he always has counted as a separate villain. And here's his first line. 10 seconds, good luck. So this is the villain known as Future Dr. Animo. Yeah, I know. He made a few changes. So he is a human gorilla, whatever you want to call him. I call him a human. You can call him a human gorilla hybrid sort of thing, but technically he's a human who first appeared in the episode Ben 10,000, which he attempted to open the null void to let all the aliens out with the help of the villain that we're going to cover next, but failed and was captured at the end of the episode. Well, his head was captured at the end of the episode. He also regenerated gags as well. We're going to cover everything later. So he retains all of Animo's powers of the transmodulator and intelligence. He is also very strong, very durable, including the glass container that's holding his head. He has spray gas and is an expert climber. However, he also retains all of Animo's weaknesses like arrogance, single-mindedness, and is mentally disturbed. And he is also vulnerable to electricity. And he is also able to detach his head. But it leaves him vulnerable. Just the image of him detach his head is just super gross, to say the least. So, now we're going to cover another future villain. So, this is the next villain up, and this is his first line. 10 seconds, good luck. Don't call yourself a Ben 10 fan if you don't know this villain, future gags, or you can just call him gags. I consider them two separate villains. A lot of people don't. I consider him one. You can tell that he skipped arm day on that arm and not on that arm. Something went wrong there. So he's a Chimerian sui generis who first appeared in the episode Ben 10,000, being regenerated by Dr. Animo. He worked with him to try and free the aliens in the null void, and he served as sort of like the distraction for the Ben 10s that are there, but failed and was then pushed and frozen into a pond at the end of the episode. Please let him stay there. I don't know. Maybe that pond will stay frozen? Who knows? So he has all of Gags' powers of strength and durability. He also has bombs and ropes as well as a laser hand to make him stronger. Yes, that's all in this arm here. Via a hole in his hand here, he's able to shoot out the bombs and rope. And he knows every single one of Ben 10,000's aliens fight. Meaning that it's impossible to pull off a fast one on him because he already knows how all of them fight. But he has all of Gags' weaknesses of slow responses and single-mindedness, as well as a little bit of arrogance. Unfortunately, you do not get a nice little hint for this person, as he reveals his name in his very first line. So, 10 seconds, good luck. So this is the villain known as Dr. Subblemenol, who has the most annoying voice known to man. Let's hear his first line.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Subblemenol, the master of hypnosis.
So he is a human who first appeared in the episode Midnight Madness. First appearing sort of like a sleazy hypnotic magician, is quickly realized that he has more intentions than is realized, as he's not your everyday con man. He planned to rob every single mall in America using his special hypnotic powers in order to hypnotize everyone there, bring him all the riches, and then move on to the next town, until he robs every mall in America. So he has a special pocket watch that is able to hypnotize anyone via pressing this button right here. No wait, this one, sorry. Which can be turned on and off at will, meaning that even if you leave his show, he's still able to carry off hypnotic commands to you. And he's probably one of the first villains that knows of Ben 10's aliens. He knows at least some of Ben's aliens, because he mentioned that he knows Diamond Head, at least knows how he is, and also knows how Upgrade is. And you can also argue Wildvine as well, but that was during the fight. But he's very egotistical and self-centered. His trance can be broken, and he's almost powerless alone, and even more so without a special pocket watch. And he's also somewhat slow. So this will conclude the video. Next time I'm going to finish up some villains with villains like the Mummy, the Yaladushi, the Squires, Coach Finn, Dr. Victor, and a few others as one-time off villains. I'll see you guys then, and hopefully I can get that Lego set back up. So long!